Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes, brought to you by our friends at Texit Coin. Coach, heck of a job, man. You took apart a good Cincinnati team at home this past Saturday. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was, most complete game that we played in a while. Happy for our players. I thought the guys really played well. I thought we prepared well. I thought we really, the last 2 weeks of the season, had some of the best practices we had, really spirited, really competitive. Guys were really focused. And got off to a fast start and did a really, really good job of kind of ignoring all the distractions with the weather delay and all the stuff, and came back out after the weather delay and kind of picked up where we left off. And as you mentioned, Cincinnati's a good football team. I mean, really good team, very good offense, one of the best offenses in the Big 12. Thought we did a really good job defensively against them. And then the thing that I was really impressed with was the way we played complementary football. Anytime that they scored, we matched it. And then when we got stops defensively, we scored. And so it was a good thing for us. We played really good football together. We're solid in the special teams, and so it was a good win for us. And I thought we really played well up front on both lines of scrimmage. Thought we ran the ball for over 200 yards, which was critically important. Quarterback really played well. I thought Josh took care of the ball. We had no turnovers, which again has been incredibly important for us. Over the last 4 years, we're 28-4 when we win or tie the turnover battle, and so that's been a big statistic for us. And so anyway, it was a good overall performance. And again, I go back to our guys. I thought they really practiced well. It was important for our entire team to play well at home for our seniors. Their last home game, and the guys really bought into that. And everybody kind of asked me about the motivation of the team the last 2 weeks, and I thought our guys were highly motivated. They have a ton of pride. They love each other. They wanted to play well for each other and for TCU, and we were able to get 2 good wins against 2 good teams.
So you must like rain delays. You certainly have.
Yeah, we've had our share this year. Yeah, it's been kind of weird. Even going back to Arizona State, we had the 2 at home, obviously Baylor and Cincinnati, but had the one at Arizona State early in the year as well. So it's been one of those years.
Yes, sir. The coach from Cincinnati have any comments after the game? Anything?
Not really. Scott's a good guy. Done a great job. Those guys kind of ran into a tough part of their schedule at the end of the year. They were 7-1. I think ranked as high as 15 at one point in the season, and really humming along. And played some good teams down the stretch. And this league's very competitive. And Coach Satterfield's a really good football coach. Done a great job with the program. As I said, they've got one of the elite quarterbacks, I think, in college football. I think he's a really good player and tough team to beat, but I thought our guys played well.
I know you're not satisfied, Coach, but you have done what you said. You turned this thing around, and the players did what you wanted them to do. It was incredible. Yeah, really, it's about the players. I mean, those guys did a great job of hanging in there. We had 2 really bad weeks in a row. Iowa State and BYU certainly didn't play our best in either one of those games, but the guys bounced back, and I thought we played well down the stretch. And I think this team is a good football team and a capable team, and I think we showed that on Saturday. A couple of your guys worth mentioning. Josh Hoover first, 306 yards and 4 TDs, no turnovers. Incredible performance by Josh. He tied he tied Andy Dalton at 71 touchdowns, which I think is number 3 all time in career touchdowns. Incredible accomplishment for that guy. He also passed Max Duggan to become number 3 all time in career passing yards at 9,629 behind Trayvon and Andy Dalton. Another big deal for Josh Hoover. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, Josh played well. I mean, he had more touchdowns than he did incompletions. And so when your quarterback is that efficient, that's a good day. And it all begins with our ability to run the football. We only threw it, I think, 22 times, and so we were able to run the ball, control the clock. I think we had the ball for almost 39 minutes in the game. And so when you can do that, it takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback, and it gives him some easy throws, and he did an unbelievable job of executing those throws. We threw and caught the ball exceptionally well. We were able to throw the ball down the field and make some big plays. The 2 fade routes, obviously one to Eric and one to Jordan. Those were 2 big plays in the game. And Josh just did a great job not putting the ball in jeopardy. But again, it all began up front with the offensive line, and I thought that group played exceptionally well, and was the key.
You're right. Jeremy Payne, 174 yards rushing, 2 TDs, and 215 all-purpose yards. He played his butt off it.
He did, yeah. Played great. Had a big 3rd down conversion early in the game when we caught him blitzing, and Josh did a great job of getting the ball out to him, and he almost turned it into a touchdown. And Yeah, it was good. It was a good performance by Jeremy. I think he's gotten better every week. That young running back room is impressive. I thought John Denman did some good things. I thought Nate Palmer ran really hard. So it was good to see those young backs, get an opportunity, because Kavorian and Trent were both unavailable, and those guys picked it up and did a great job. Was
there a feeling amongst the team pregame, halftime, at the end of the game, a different feeling from the guys versus other weeks?
No, not at all. No, just a determination to go out and play well. And as I said, there was never a lack of motivation with this team ever at any point during the season. The guys practiced hard and played hard, and sometimes we made a lot of mistakes that cost us some ball games, and we'd certainly like to have those back. But there was never a lack of effort or attention to detail or trying to play hard.
Right. Well, this team proved again that this team can beat anybody on a given day if they play the way they're supposed to. You've said this many times.
Yeah. Big thing is just taking care of the football, and that's just the way it is in college football. It's tough to win if you turn the ball over, and it's been something that we've struggled with at times this year, but when we take care of it and don't turn it over, we're pretty good.
You mentioned Big 12, the parity in the Big 12, and it's alive and well, I have to say. You've said this several times to us, but these teams they all have several losses, at least most of them, and they can all play some pretty good football.
Yeah. It's tough to make it through the league unscathed. Texas Tech and BYU are the two teams, and they both have one loss, but they've played well consistently this year, but both of them have taken care of the ball. That's been the key to their success is not turning it over, and so we've got to figure out a way to get there.
Thoughts on the seniors playing their last game at the Carter?
Yeah, we had an unbelievable group of seniors. Some of the guys, it's an interesting group in today's college football world because, Chase Curtis, I think, has been here 6 years. Trent Battle's been here 5 years. Bud's been here 5 years. You have these guys that have been here 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're all seniors. And so it's been a great group of guys. I think the thing I like the most about that group is just the way they love each other, the way they play hard for each other. We have a really unique culture that way. I love our players and just the fact that they're incredibly unselfish, and I expected us to play well. I knew it meant a lot to our team to send those seniors out the right way, and again, it says a lot about who they are and what kind of people they are.
Well, it felt really good to be there and see that and all the things, so congrats again. We'll be right back to talk to TCU women's soccer coach Eric Bell about what they're doing with the College Cup after these messages from State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
Keeping score of your finances but missed the Bitcoin wagon? There's a second chance called Texit Coin. Score big at texitcoin.org.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs. We're here with TCU women's head coach Eric Bell, who's on a bit of a hot streak, if you mind me saying so, Coach. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Pleased to be here.
It's awesome. So you are in practice this week, headed up to Kansas City for this Friday night, the College Cup.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
It's been a fun ride. We've been there for the entire journey, getting to see all this thing happen. So happy to have you on the show, and thank you for joining us again. So tell me your thoughts going into Friday against Florida State.
Super excited about the opportunity, right? Playing on the national stage and seeing where we're at as a program, but hopefully, not just seeing where we're at, hopefully coming back with 2 victories and a national championship.
God, it's amazing stuff. Coach, so you were the all-time winningest coach in TCU soccer history now.
Okay.
Incredible accomplishment. You've been here for a while now, 14th season, I believe, correct?
Correct.
Are you feeling like things are going the way you always planned them to be? Is this how you had it planned, right?
Well, obviously we want things sooner than later, right? And that's how we all are kind of programmed as people. But it's been an awesome journey. I really enjoy Fort Worth. I really enjoy being here at TCU. And the journey, the process from 2012 to now has been awesome.
Yeah.
Been awesome.
The season's been spectacular. From the team that started the season till where we are now, any comments on how the girls have transitioned into where they are today?
Yeah, as I've said before, I think we have like 17 new people in our team, and so getting them to gel at the beginning of the season probably wasn't the easiest thing to do, and we had probably at the midway point of the season, we had to kind of take a couple steps back and be like, we're not really playing TCU soccer right now. And so we had to, really kind of inform the newer people, like, this is how we do our business, this is how we play, these are the expectations. And we thought we had done that in the beginning of the season, but not at the level in which we needed to. And so I think now I think the kids have a really good idea of what we're trying to do from an attacking and defending perspective, and we're getting some good results.
Cream always rises to the top, right?
You like to think so?
I think so. All right, you're now this year's Big 12 Coach of the Year. Your fourth time to pull that honor home. Congrats there.
Thank you.
This year's, being your 14th year, can you compare your journey here at TCU? You've been a long way, done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now you sit on the cusp of something really special. Knock on wood, we have some work to do. But can you put it all into a nutshell?
Well,
your time
first,
at TCU.
It comes down to the people, right? Whether it be talent acquisition, as far as identifying young players that we think can come in and help us do big things, but also my staff is fantastic. I have the best staff in the country, and Ryan's been with me since day one, and Tom's been with me since 2018, and Anna's been with us since 2022 or something like that, but she's been back and forth. And then we have Madison, who's been with us for the last 3 years. So having that continuity, I think, is huge, and them understanding their roles and responsibilities within what we're trying to do, I think, has been massive. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the players, right? And as the saying goes, it's not about the X's and the O's, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes, right? And so we got to make sure that we have a cupboard full of the Jimmies and the Joes.
This is the first College Cup in TCU history.
Correct.
We're playing against three other teams, Florida State being our opponent, and Duke and Stanford, who have all won national championships in the last
Correct.
5 years. It's an amazing storyline.
Well, Duke hasn't.
I'm sorry, yeah, Duke. That's right. The company you're with, it's some soccer powerhouses, to put it mildly. So you obviously have earned your way in. You deserve to be where you are. Thoughts playing Florida State on Saturday?
Well, I came from Florida
Friday,
State. I came from Florida State, and so I helped.
We're going to talk about that too. Yes,
I helped there, and to where they are right now. So there's that, but. Iron sharpens iron, right? And so we've got to get into a point to where this is kind of a regular thing like it is for these blue bloods. And, we want to be in the blue blood pantheon of women's soccer. And so this is kind of like the first step to that.
What do you know about the Florida State program as far as who we're playing? What team are we playing against?
Super athletic group, right? And Brian Pinsky does a really good job of identifying some really good student athletes, but more athletic, fast, strong, big, strong kids. And they'll make it hard for us to do certain things, but talented as well as soccer players. And they're going to present a lot of different problems, whether it be with their pace and athleticism, set pieces, being able to defend those. And we're going to have our hands full for sure.
Prior to you coming to TCU 14 years ago, you spent 6 years at Florida State.
Correct.
You mentioned the head coach. You guys have a common connection?
So Brian Pinsky wasn't the head coach when I was there. So the head coach when I was there was Mark Krikorian, and he left 3 years ago. Okay. And then they brought in Brian from Tennessee. And so, Brian and I go way, way back and as well, but we're good friends. But Mark's my guy and is my mentor. And I just got off the phone with him earlier today.
What was he saying to you, if you mind me asking?
Well, I asked him, what are the things that I need to be thinking about and worried about as far as keeping the main thing, right? The main thing, we're going there to try to get 2 wins, right? And so he talked about, the media and how we should be dealing with the media. He talked about making sure that the kids aren't concerned about tickets, right? And for their friends and families, and making sure that we have a point person that's in charge for tickets. And then he also said, just get ready for the cameras to kind of be in your face. And so whether that be when you get off the bus or in warm-ups and stuff like that, making sure that the kids are prepared for the camera to be like here, right? And so we'll practice those things.
Good. The senior class you have this year. Can you talk about the seniors and how this ride's going for them?
Well, it's a combination of a lot of different things. We have 4-year seniors. We have kids who transferred in and just 3-month seniors, and we have some kids that came in January as seniors. And so it's a great group, though, and they've gelled together. And I don't know where we would be without the group as far as their leadership and direction that they've given the rest of the team. I think it's a pretty selfless group, which I think is awesome, and it has allowed us to ultimately be at this point.
Coach, you coached a lot of women that have become professional soccer players. Have they reached out? Are they paying attention? Do they let you know what's going on? Some advice?
I had 100, 200 text messages after the game, and it took me all night to get through them. But it's alums, it's friends, it's family members, but it's a lot of TCU people for sure, and they're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. But we're not done.
Coach, it's so great. I'm glad to hear that. The rumor on the street is it's going to be really cold Kansas City Friday night, 19-ish, something like that. Is that something
I saw 35-ish.
Which feels like 19, maybe.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
maybe.
I'm kidding. But the cold weather affect you guys at all?
No, we're mutters.
There you go.
We're mutters, and we'll be ready for it. And I think that we had a little bit of a chat about it yesterday at practice, and so we'll be ready.
Coach, congratulations again. We look forward to the game Friday in Kansas City, College Cup. Here we go, and we're excited. We'll be along for the ride with you. Thanks for joining us on Frogs on State of the Frogs. That's Coach Eric Bell, TCU women's head soccer coach on State of the Frogs.
Let's go, Final Four, baby!
Welcome to the Squire Shop. We are locally owned and operated since 1994. We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service. We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that. We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, all right, we're in the regular season. We're in a bowl season now. We won't know until what happens until this coming Sunday for bowl selection show. So what are your thoughts going into this unknown period?
Yeah, don't really know, honestly. This week for us is kind of about finishing up high school recruiting, doing some self-scout and trying to figure out ways that we can improve what we're doing on, offense, defense, and special teams, but, trying to get this recruiting class signed Wednesday. And that's kind of our focus right now. Probably take a day off on Friday, let the coaches kind of get away. Hadn't had a whole lot of days off since really the middle of July. So it's been a pretty good little grind and let these guys spend some time with the family a little bit and then get recharged. And we'll know on Sunday what the bowl situation looks like. I'm hopeful that it's going to end up being a good bowl game against a quality opponent. I think our players want to play against a good team. I think that that's something they're excited about, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm not sure exactly the implications of the Big 12 Championship game. My guess is, we probably need to root for BYU because I think if we get two teams in the college football playoff, it's probably better for us when it comes to bowl seeding. So a lot of things that can play out, a lot of decisions that people have to make. You never know with bowl games. There's been times where, we were assuredly going to one and it doesn't happen. And so, who knows?
I know you can't show you all your cards at one time, but do you have any thoughts on where you might end up, or is it too early to say?
No, probably too early to say. Okay, yeah, I think there's a chance we could end up playing somewhere in the state of Texas, which I think would be great for our players and our families.
And you mentioned real quickly the team will be practicing all week and have Friday off. Is that how you do this week?
Yeah, so this week what we're doing is guys are just basically it's dead week, so we're preparing for final exams. Then as we figure out exactly when the bowl game is, we'll put the schedule together. We've already looked at several different scenarios about possible practice dates. As they have final exams next week, we'll try to limit that as much as we can on the front end. But by this time, next week we'll probably start practicing a little bit or probably 8 days away from starting practice and getting back out there and getting after it. But our players needed a break. It's been a long season, and this will give them a chance to kind of heal up a little bit physically and get away a little bit mentally.
I never asked you before, but do you have an army of class checkers involved in your staff?
Yeah. We've got people that are checking classes every day and making sure these guys are, finishing academics the way they're supposed to. Because, again, that's the most important thing. They're here to get a degree and graduate from TCU. So we got to make sure they finish the semester strong.
Can you tell me what happens to a student athlete if they get caught missing class? Is there a certain punishment that you can share?
There's all kinds of stuff. It just really kind of depends on whether or not you're a repeat performer, I suppose.
The old stadium, before they fixed it, had a set of steps. It was 177 in a row. I remember that as being one of the punishments.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's liability issues with that, falling down steps and all that kind of stuff now that probably didn't exist back in the day. So we do a little bit different stuff than they used to because there's probably more lawyers now than there was when you played.
Fair. I think that's correct. Okay, today is Wednesday, Coach. It's high school signing day. What can you tell us about our upcoming new class of Frogs?
Yeah, just excited about the group. I mean, it's a solid group. I think the thing I'm excited about is just the overall size of the group. It's a big group offensively. From an offensive line perspective, I think we're going to sign a couple of receivers that are big, long guys, a couple of receivers that are really fast. Then you look at the defensive front. I mean, big bodies. A lot of length. Guys that can develop into really big people. And I think that's the most important thing. Excited about the linebacking crew that we're signing. I think some of those guys might have a chance to get on the field and play early, and then a good group of DBs. And so fired up about the group. Looking forward to getting those guys, signed up and get it done and get it behind us.
Will you be on the hardcore on the road talking to all these guys, making sure?
Not allowed to be on the road, so we're not allowed to go anywhere. We'll just be on the phone, burning the phones up here the last couple of days.
Fair. And one thing I saw on the internet, which we know the internet doesn't know the whole picture ever, but this class is ranked number 30 in the nation, and with 20 commits. Does it sound appropriate with the commits?
Yeah. I think we'll end up maybe with one or two additional potentially. So we'll see kind of how it plays out in the next couple of days.
One of the neat points that I wanted to make sure it was brought up, because we don't know if it's true or not, but it's what people tell us on the internet. But there's 4 stars in this group and 17 3-stars. Whether that's true or not, what's interesting is Josh Hoover and Eric McAlister were both considered 3-stars coming out of high school. So you can see where that
yeah. Recruiting rankings. I mean, they're important. You want to recruit the right guys. Obviously, that's critically important. I think we do a really good job of evaluating players. That's, I think, been a strength of ours through the years. And sometimes, you got to find guys that fit your program. And sometimes the 5-star guys maybe not be necessarily the best fit. And in today's college football, those guys are expensive. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be it's difficult sometimes to sign some of those guys if you don't have a big pocketbook. And so, I love the group. Like I said, I think it's a really solid group. I think this is going to be a foundation for us for a long time. And again, it's always about starting up front, whether it's on the defensive front or the offensive front, signing big bodies and guys that can develop into good players.
I saw you had a good group of recruits at the game Saturday. Any thoughts?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I had a great group. That's the great thing about being in the Metroplex is we can get guys over and get them to games and have really quality recruits.
We're a little bit early, but the portal will open January 2nd through the 16th. That's the new window. No more spring portal. There's one portal this year in the year.
Yeah, that's correct.
Year.
Yeah,
how do you approach the portal going in?
Well, obviously it all begins with, retaining the guys in your program that you think are really important to retain. So those conversations, I told the players to kind of get away for about a week, and then we'll start having conversations with most guys on Monday. We've already had conversations with some, obviously, but most of those will start to take place on Monday, and guys will kind of start to figure out, kind of where they fall. And we'll have some priority guys that's obviously we're going to do everything we can to retain and then kind of see how it goes.
Sure. You mentioned the Big 12 Championship team, BYU, Texas Tech. This is this Saturday. Any thoughts, comments there?
Should be a good football game. I know, I know they played earlier in the year and Texas Tech dominated that game. BYU made some uncharacteristic mistakes in the game, had a punt return fumble on their end of the field, a couple of turnovers that they haven't been having. I think it'll be a good competitive football game, 2 good teams, and it should be fun to watch.
Will you be watching it with the team, or any interest?
No, guys will kind of be on their own. And most of our players, I think, are going to try to go home this weekend and just kind of see some family because they're getting ready to be locked up here for a while when they come back for bowl practice.
Fair. And last question for you, Coach. The biggest news in the country is the Lane Kiffin story with him going to LSU. Any thoughts on that? This guy, do you know Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, I've known Lane a long time. It's Lane's an interesting guy, and he'll do a great job. I mean, he's had a lot of success, obviously at Ole Miss, and has bounced around. I think this is his 3rd SEC team he's coached. I know he was at Tennessee, Ole Miss, and now LSU. LSU's a great job, and I'm not surprised he took it. The timing is never good in college football. It's very difficult. Because they're trying to get coaches hired as quickly as they can for recruiting and then trying to hold on to transfers, and sometimes that doesn't match with the calendar. And so now he's having to leave an Ole Miss team that is in the college football playoff. And so the whole thing is messy, but the timing of it is just the timing of it. There's no other way to do it. My hope is someday, when you sign a contract with an institution, that means that you have to finish that year. Whether that's coach all the way through the national championship game or whatever the case may be. My hope is that they'll change some kind of rules so that the coaches have to do that. I think that's the right thing to do. But again, I don't know Lane's situation. Everybody's got to do what they think is best for them. And LSU is a great opportunity.
Kind of makes sense, Coach. I appreciate your comments there. So Sunday selection show, I think it's at 11 a.m. on ESPN, and we'll find out where we're going. We hope to have a big bowl show with you at some point, bring in some former players that used to be here that are known entities. We appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you to Texit Coin again for this year. Great regular season finale with the Frogs. State of the Frogs, your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Thank you, guys.
Go Frogs.